Good morning, class. I'm going to show you a cone. So this is an example of a cone. Actually, this cone is made up of clay. But I'm going to show you the conic sections out of this clay. So I have here another cone made up of clay. Now, if I'm going to cut this cone horizontally, meaning parallel to the base of this cone, so I created a circle. Okay, so in other words, if you're going to, if you need to create a circle, you have to cut this, using the cone, you have to cut this cone horizontally, which is parallel to the base. So putting this aside, now another one, another section of the cone, if I'm going to cut this cone diagonally, but not beyond the base of this cone, so let's find out what will happen. Okay. So, here it is. So, you have here an ellipse. It is merely a circle. So, actually, in Tagalog, we call this as bilohaba or oblong. Okay? So, very familiar to, lalo na yung example is yung itlog. That's an example of ellipse. Okay, moving on. If I'm going to cut, again, this cone, okay, diagonally, but moving beyond the base, meaning it is intersected the base of the cone. So, on this case, you created a parabola. Okay, so finally, let's move on to the last conic section, and that is what we call hyperbola. But how would you create hyperbola out of the cone? Actually, if you're going to create hyperbola, you should have two cones having the same size. And so, the second cone should be the flip side of the other. Okay? So, if you're going to create a hyperbola, you have to cut these two cones perpendicularly until you reach the base of the lower cone. So, you created actually two parabolas. Yun nga lang, baliktaran sila. Okay? Same as this illustrative figure. So, we call this as hyperbola. So for some clarification, let's move on to the next slide.